Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk, ever since the night I saw Emily in front of the mirror, my mind has never been at peace again. Every time I enter the living room, I feel like someone is watching my every move. The light in the house never seems bright enough. The light bulbs often flicker, giving off a sickly yellow light. I began to doubt whether this house really belongs to me or has been occupied by some haunted force since Emily set foot in. Every night, I hear strange noises echoing in the dark hallway. Heavy footsteps that drag on as if someone is deliberately wandering around in the middle of the night. When I open the door to check, the hallway is completely empty. Only the sound of rain tapping on the roof remains. The rain sounds echo everywhere like a funeral song. Emily still maintains a calm appearance. She rarely talks, just sits by the window looking out at the night sky, her eyes motionless, her face cold. I tried to ask her many times why there was no shadow, why the mirror often reflected distorted images, but Emily just shook her head, smiling slightly, a smile that sent a chill down my spine. I began to search for documents, read creepypasta stories online, ghost stories about people without shadows, living entities hiding in human form. The more I read, the more similar my situation seemed to me, and the more my fear grew. One evening, I returned home late. In the silent house, I clearly heard a light, steady knock on the door, like the heartbeat of a dying person. I walked out into the hallway and stood still. At the end of the hallway, right in front of the window, a figure passed by. My heart was pounding. I rushed towards it, but when I got there was only cold emptiness. Emily was standing right behind me. I turned around in surprise and saw her staring at me without blinking. On the floor where she stood, there was no shadow. I choked, wanting to scream, but my throat was tight. The next morning, I found an excuse to leave the house. I drove to my parents' old house in the suburbs, where I had spent those haunting years of home alone. In my memory, that house was cold, but at least it was more familiar to me than the place where I was living with Emily. I sat in the old room, opening my childhood diaries. The yellowed pages reminded me that, since I was little, I had seen strange things. Shadows that didn't match their real shapes, whispers in the night, and even dreams of a woman standing in the rain without a shadow. At that time, I thought I was just haunted by being home alone too much. Now, I realized that maybe fate had been attached to me for a long time, and Emily was the embodiment of that darkness. That night, I didn't dare to go back. I slept in the old house, but the nightmare still haunted me. In my dream, I was camping in the deep forest. The campfire was dying down. Darkness surrounded me. In the middle of the night, footsteps echoed around the tent. The sound of dry leaves rustling, the sound of branches breaking. I held a flashlight and looked outside, and saw Emily standing a few meters away. Her white shirt wet with rain, her hair hanging down, her black eyes looking at me. I looked down at the ground. Her feet were empty, completely shadowless. I screamed, trying to run away, but my legs felt like they were tied. When I woke up, sweat soaked my back, and I realized that someone's footsteps were also heard in the hallway in the old room. I didn't dare open the door. I decided to go to the town library, hoping to find some clues. There, I discovered old records about a village that had disappeared hundreds of years ago. According to legend, the village was cursed by a woman without a shadow, an entity that was said to walk between two worlds. Those who see or marry her will gradually have their life sucked out, their souls trapped in the mirror, forever unable to escape. Reading this far, my hands trembled, my heart pounded. I could no longer deny it. Emily was the embodiment of that curse. When I returned, Emily was sitting on the living room chair, her eyes looking straight at me. She asked me where I had gone, her voice flat but filled with invisible threats. I tried to hide my trembling, replying that I had just been walking around. She didn't say anything more, just smiled slightly, then turned to look at the cracked mirror hanging on the wall. In that moment, I saw in the mirror not only Emily, but also countless other faces, pale, distorted, screaming silently. I realized that they were trapped souls. I knew that if I didn't escape, I would soon become one of them. I had to find a way to escape Emily, escape this haunted house before it was too late. But how? She was always there beside me, like a deadly shadow that never left. I started to make a plan, and from that moment, the real battle between me and the thing that was in the form of that woman officially began. Stay tuned for the next episode to see what I tried to do to escape from Emily's cold hands.